Welcome Tech Brothers here. In this video, we're going to learn how to read data from Azure SQL Database table and write to the Lakehouse file as Parquet file by using a data pipeline. So here is my SQL Azure SQL DB, and let me show you. So once you go to the portal.azure.com, and then you're going to see your SQL server. Click on that one, and then it will show you your SQL server. In my case, it is a TechBrothers server.database.windows.net. That's my server name. If I go to the SQL databases here, I'm going to see the databases. I have only one database called the TechSQL DB. Right now it is paused, but we can go to the other window where I have inserted the data and just extracted from the customer table. So you can see right there, this was the data I inserted, and then this is coming from the customer table. Now let's go back to the Fabric, and our goal is to write the pipeline that can read this data from this customer table that's in Azure SQL DB and write to the our Lakehouse. So if I go to the my workspaces here and go to different folders that I have created to manage different items, one is called the Lakehouse. I have two Lakehouses here. One is called TechBrothers Lakehouse. Once I click right there, there are files right there, and you can see there are different folders I have. My goal is to create a folder here. I want to create a new folder called stage, and that's where I would like to put my data from my Azure SQL DB table to the Lakehouse folder. So here is a stage folder. Now that's where I want to write. Now let's go to the workspace here, and then go to the one of the folder I have created called pipeline, and this is where I'm keeping my all the pipeline for the manageability. New item here, and the data pipeline. I'm going to call this pipeline, I'm going to give the number 5, and I call this one extract from Azure SQL table, and then to Lakehouse. And in the Lakehouse, if you notice that I'm writing directly to the files tab, so I'm not writing to the tables. So we'll create another video in which I will write directly to the tables in the Lakehouse. Our pipeline is created, and now we can go to the pipeline activity here, and then click on the copy data activity, and then we are going to see copy data activity right here. Now let's go right here and click on copy data activity again on the source, and then we will go to the connection. Here I'm going to create a new connection. There is already connection I have created right here, but I don't want to use it. I want to show you how did I create that one. So click on more here, and then you will be searching for the Azure SQL. So once you look for that, it is going to show you Azure SQL Database. So click on that one, and here we will provide the name of our server. Go back to the portal.azure.com, and then click on your server name that you have right there, and then copy. So copy this, and once you copy that, paste it right there, and then the next question it is going to ask you what is the name of the database. So if I go back here and go to the SQL databases, you know that it is right here. So TechSQL DB. So provide that as well, and now it is going to ask me, hey, what permissions you want to use. So create new connection, yes, and I'm gonna give the name right here, Azure SQL DB con, okay, connection. So now I'm using basic authentication, and my username is SQL user, and you can take a look from your server as well. Whatever the user you have. So go to overview here, and then you're going to see server admin, and this is the user I'm using. So in your case you might have a different user, but use whatever you have created. Provide the password. Use encryption connection. No, I just want to use as is simple, and use create a connection. Now it's going to create the connection to my Azure SQL database, and then I will be able to extract the information from the table. You might have noticed that it has taken some time because my SQL server is paused, and now once it's going to get this connection, it's going to refresh and start. You can see right there it is resuming right now. So it is a SQL server that I have used, and it get paused after a few minutes when I don't use it, and it will start running soon. So then we will be able to see the connection here. Okay, our connection is ready, and also you can see that now we have this server that's also ready. So if I go back here, let me go to the activities here, and then go to the database here, and if I refresh, it should be running. Now we can see that our TechSQL DB is online and we're all good, and our connection is created. Now I can test the connection here as well, and it should be successful. Now I can do multiple things. I can use a SQL use query here. So you have table, you have query, you have use store procedure. Let's just get the table, and it's a DBO customer because I want to extract everything from this table. Click on the preview data and it's going to show you all the data from that table. Now that's great, and now we have some advanced options. So here we have query time out, and it's a 120 minutes isolation level. You can select if you are using some specific isolation level. I'm just going to leave this default, and partition option, none, physical partition of table, dynamic range. So all different things are available to you to use. If you want to use some additional columns here, you can also add those columns. So there is these dynamic columns, at the rate the column is available, and you can add some values to it. Now in my case, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just interested to get all the columns from the table. Go to destination here, and then what we are going to do, we are going to select our Lakehouse. So in this case, we are selecting our TechBrothers Lakehouse, and we want to write this to the files here, and what directory we would like to write, we would like to write to the stage. So let me go back here actually and see if it is stage or staging. So it is stage. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to my pipeline and just type a stage. Now I don't need to provide anything else here, just the file name. So I'm going to call this a customer underscore Azure SQL and then Parquet. So right here, if you see, we have different files here, and I'm going to select Parquet file. So now, as of now, we can't really preview the data because there is no data in this file, and it will be newly created file when we will run the pipeline. Go to mapping here, and once you click on mapping, click on import schema. So now it's going to read our source or data, and then it's going to provide us a schema. You can have the same name. This is our source columns and data types, and this is our destination. You can change if you like, and it's simple, very simple. So instead of customer ID, maybe I want to just call it ID, and then instead of first name, maybe I would like call this F name. And let's say you don't want some of the information, maybe you are not interested to have email, you can delete that column as well. Now this is all good here, and now we can save, and once we save our pipeline, then after that we can execute. We are going to go to run here and then run, and it's going to run. It's going to go into different phases. First it will go into the queue, and then once it will go into the queue, and after that it will go to the in progress, and finally it will be successful or failure. Our pipeline is successful, and we can click on copy data, and it's going to show us how many rows it has read and how many rows it has written. Here it is telling us file written, so it's equal to 1, and here it is showing us the rows written to that file, and here is the total duration. You can take a look on the duration here, and then you can go to advanced, and it tells you trigger this pipeline as a manual processor. That's fine. We can go to the Lakehouse here, and now I'm going to go ahead and just refresh, and once I refresh that, I will be see the file customer underscore Azure SQL.Parquet. Let's click on this file. It's loading a preview, and you can see that we have ID column that remember I did copy from I renamed from customer ID to the ID. There was a first name, and I renamed to the F name, and the rest of the columns were as is. We have removed the email, so there is no email here. So this is how you will create the Parquet file or CSV file, depending on the file you will select, by using the copy activity from a SQL table to the Lakehouse. So if you go to the source again here, and destination, and here instead of saying Parquet, if you want to create CSV file, so CSV, and then here you will select delimited text. Now it will ask you some settings. If you want to have a different setting, maybe we'll go actually create the pipe delimited file here, and we hit OK, and now we can execute this pipeline again. Now let's run and save and run, and it's going to create this time CSV file for us. So it is going to the same statuses such as queue, in progress, and then finally it will be going to the our success or failure. We can see the inputs here, and you can see that it is reading from the Azure table. Then also it has a lot more information. You can read all those wherever this is the file it is going to create, and then what's folder and everything. Now we can click right here, and you can see that it is reading from Azure SQL DB, writing to the lake, and then it has written one file. We can close this one, go back here in the Lakehouse, and in the Lakehouse go to stage, and now I'm going to go ahead and refresh. So once I refresh here, you can see that CSV file is created, and I can click right here, and you can see that now this file is a pipe delimited file. So this is how you will be creating different type of files by reading data from Azure SQL DB and writing to the Lakehouse in Fabric. I thank you very much for watching this video. Please subscribe my channel, and I will see you guys in the next video.